The Future Cast, baby. Midweek mock with my boy Matty K.
What's up, Cody? Listen, man, I just emerged from my 4-day darkness retreat. All I was thinking about is this mock. So, yes, you could say your boy's locked in right now.
I'm kind of scared.
Just ready.
All right. Well, let's dive into this mock. But first, you need to go follow my boy Matty K on Twitter. Matty Kiwoom, MattyKiwoom.
Let's go.
On the Twitters. Find me on Twitter at Carpenter NFL. This is the Future Cast midweek moction action. Midweek maction action. We're here. We're down to clown. And we're going to be doing a one quarterback rookie Dynasty rookie mock draft. You can check it out right here on the YouTube channel at Player Profiler. You can also find it wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, and Apple. This is the Player Profiler Radio Network, and this is the Future Cast. Click that like, click that subscribe, and do us a favor, because right now on Spotify, on Apple, you can type in the word the Future Cast. You can type in the word Undercovered Ops. You can type in the Game Plan. You can type in Mind Dimension, and they all have their own channels now. So I know that we're ever expanding right now. We have 15 shows currently at Player Profiler. We're expanding over the next 2 months to have over 20 shows, 21 to be exact, by the end of the summer is going to be on the official library of Player Profiler. And I understand the main feed Player Profiler, it's getting loaded. It's going to have over 10 shows loaded in every single week. Bang, bang, bang. And it's a bit too much. So that's why you can now go and click subscribe to Mind Dimension, subscribe to the Game Plan, listen to Matty K every Saturday, subscribe to the Future Cast, and listen to me blabber about college football and the NFL draft and just know everything you need to know. You can go do that on Spotify, on Apple, on all these places. And remember to drop those reviews. So if you're listening on the Future Cast channel, leave me five-star review. Leave us a comment. Let us know what kind of mocks you want to see next, what prospects you want me to talk about, things like this. Appreciate you always staying tapped in. Click that like, click that subscribe, and leave us 5 stars. One show, though, and we'll keep this short. One show. We talked pre-show. We did a little announcement on the Twitter. There's a show. Coming. The Players Lounge.
Let's go.
The Players Lounge is coming soon. That's all I'm gonna say.
I cannot wait for that. We got big things planned. Big things planned for that show.
As President 45 would say, not small. Not small. Very big. Very large. Very large. Large things, not small. Large things planned.
I'm the best. I know the most.
It's plain and simple. I woke up this morning. I piss excellence. All right, Matty.
We said we were not going to be long-winded. Holy shit! This is what we do, though.
This is what we do.
Can't let the boys play, and we're going to rumble.
We're already talking like it's the Players Lounge around here, and this is still the midweek mock.
Yes, we got to dial in. We got to focus.
With the 101 in this one quarterback rookie mock, number 3, Matty Kiwoom. I'll give you the number 1 pick again.
Okay. And a little twist on this one. We are picking these players as if they go to the most optimal situation. Doesn't matter if it's realistic. We don't care about the picks of the NFL draft. We're just maximizing landing spot, and then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to make our pick. So without further ado, this is easy peasy. I'm taking Bijan Robinson at the 101. He's no doubt the best prospect. My number 1 landing spot, believe it or not, for Bijan Robinson, the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
And this is why I would take him. I'm going to take it at the 101 anyway. But with the Atlanta Falcons taking him, this is why. Arthur Smith loves to #establish the shit out of it. They would have to take him either top 10 with 8, or they'd have to trade back into the first round to get him, which would just show how much desire they have for a guy like that. And listen, if Tyler Algier ran for 1,000 yards, imagine what Bijan Robinson would do in that evolving offensive line. So Bijan Robinson, 101 to the Atlanta Falcons. Number 1 landing spot for him, in my opinion.
How about we add that? How about we add that column in here? I want to track these optimal landing spots, and okay. I think it'll just make our screen look a little bit cleaner as it'll enlarge that whole little shared section over there. Let's put in preferred See if I can spell this word right. Preferred team.
Best.
Did I spell that right?
Is it spell check?
Best. Let's do best team.
Best landing spot.
I don't need the comments in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Let's do best team.
Best
We'll
team.
put in Falcons. I like that right there.
Here we go,
All right,
baby.
with the 1.02 in this one quarterback PPR league, Jackson Smith and Jigba PPR.
Bing bang boom.
That's the name of the game.
Bing, bang,
Jackson
boom.
Smith and Jigba. I'm going to stick with the landing spot that I talked about before. That is the Chargers, right? This top end of this draft is going to stay easy. Bijan, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. That's how fantasy drafts are going to start in the 1 QB. Pretty easy. Seth, you really going to throw me off my game right now?
I was going to say.
You're really going to do this to me?
At least our editor came in clutch. He said preferred is correct. Thank you,
Spelling bee
Seth.
champion of second grade, baby. Actually not. Actually, it's the
You
math
want a
champion.
spelling bee?
No, that's spelling.
You were a math champ?
Math.
Damn, I
speed.
used to be in chess club.
The speed test, where they put 90 math math things. Oh, speed that motherfucker.
So you had a fast math 40 time, is what
I
you're
had
telling
a
us.
fast math 40 time, bro. I tell you what, I was 30 kids in the class, 90 questions, 90 math equations. You give me a pencil and a paper, and in first grade to fourth grade, I don't think I lost a damn game, son. Fifth grade started to be algebra and shit. All right.
And all of a sudden you get fifth grade, you're like, yeah, football's way cooler.
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, easy money. We're just racking in the checks. You start talking about algebra in like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. Yeah, peace out, man. I'm going to recess.
Yeah, I mean, Madden starts getting a whole lot more fun at that age,
Madden,
priorities, man.
Madden 6, Madden 7 was good back then when you could actually play in college and things like that. Yeah, that was. Yeah, my
algebra when I could play Madden.
My math equationing and my math 40 time took a considerable hit. When Madden
off the field issues.
Severe off the field issues.
Oh my Lanta, let's go.
But we're here. Jackson Smith and Jigba goes off to 102. You're back on the clock at the 103. Matty Kiwoom, what's the pick?
All right, so with my third pick here, I am going Jordan Addison here. I think my number one landing spot would be the Chargers, but since you just went them, I won't back to back it. I actually think he would be a fantastic fit on the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh,
Christian Watson speeding it up on the outside. He can run all the routes, and I don't think he's a must be. Like, I don't think he's guaranteed to be the slot only. I think he's a little bit more versatile. I think he's got a whole lot more kind of big playability. So I think you put him with Watson, and I'm getting the Jordan Love fever, and the only prescription is get him everywhere in my fantasy drafts, and I can't. People are feeling it too, so I think he can really support this. So give me my man Jordan Addison going to the Packers.
I don't hate that. I mean, it's less than ideal when you're talking about having Rodgers as the quarterback, but I do think that Jordan Love, kind of like Rodgers with a couple years under his belt, it's going to be A-okay as long as he doesn't throw the ball to Romy Hoodubs. So
we don't talk about dog water on the show no more.
Dog water is slimy and spit up and just got food leftovers, and it's just piss warm, and it's just not good. You just stay away. So when you see Allen Lazard may re-sign with the Packers news, that directly affects the dog water bowl.
We're going to finally drain that thing. Give me Jordan Addison, bring back Lazard, and all of a sudden now we're not talking about dog water.
Jordan Addison, 103, gives me the 104. And in PPR, I can look at receiver. My favorite receiver is not the next in line, so I'm going to go running back, and I'm going to go with the guy that catches the most passes, and that is one Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama. He's the guy. He's the Elvin Kamara of the class, even though he's not. He's the James Cook of this class, James Cook plus. He's a great pass. He's great in pass pro. He's lighter. He looks like a wide receiver lining up in the backfield. I love James Cook last year. I don't know if that's disrespecting Gibbs calling him James Cook, but I think it should be a positive for both guys. Give me James Cook here.
What's
I
that
need
landing
some
spot look like?
I need some damn water. I'll tell you that. My coffin is coughing like a mother cougher. The landing spot is the Narland Saints because Alvin Kamara is getting suspended.
Oh my God, he is. Yeah, he definitely is. It seems like it's going to be happening in 2023. That suspension's coming. Can't be out there just fighting people, jumping people.
Do you have a better landing spot?
Do I have better landing spot than the Saints? I do, but it takes a scenario to play out for it to be fulfilled. And that is him going to the Minnesota Vikings, where they get rid of Cook and Mattson walks. That's where I like him. I think they'll do, bring in someone that can be the between the tackles type of guy, and then he can clean up. And we know that they'll make plays for their running back. Dalvin's always a weapon on the in the passing game. So why wouldn't Gibbs be? So I have the
clock,
105.
my friend. Let's go.
And now, see, here's the thing. Here's my crossroads I'm at. The guy that I probably like the best is not the PPR best available. So what do? Do I just go with the heart or do I go with the brain? And I'm going to go with the brain, and I am going to take my man, Jalen Hyatt. I know this is crazy, but I am starting to really, really believe in what he can bring to an NFL squad. And if we're talking best landing spots, give me the Kansas City Chiefs and give them the downfield threat from the slot, the dangerous weapon they could have to match with what they already are equipped with. So I'm saying his optimal landing spot is the Chiefs, and I do think that's possible at the end of the first round. Did I spell that right? Seth, did I spell Chiefs right? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
See this right here? This is not a can of dip. This is a can of Grinds coffee pouches.
Okay.
I'm not as hard as the people in Texas, but I can pack a dip to represent my friends in Texas. And I can light a candle. I can light a candle.
You son of a bitch.
This right here, this is called a clarity candle. See that? That's
I don't
clarity.
give a shit about your candle right now because I know what you're about to do. You give me some payback for last week.
This is clarity. I'm trying to light. That's a damn flame right there. I'm trying to light some clarity into this room right now. I pack my dip and I light my candle, and I'm taking Roschon Johnson at the 106 because Roschon Johnson is going to be a late second round pick in the NFL draft. He's not late second. It's going to be early third. He's going to come off the board as RB3 or RB4. And in fantasy football, this right here, this is your David Johnson, your Sean Alexander, double-digit touchdowns, over 200 touches. Roschon Johnson at the 106, ahead of Quentin Johnston, ahead of Zach Evans, ahead of my boy Boutte, and I would have taken him over Hyatt. Plug it in.
You son of a bitch. So that means I was wrong in my inclination where I could wait and get this guy because this was the other side of the crossroads. This was the other path that I did not take was Roschon Johnson. Now, where's this landing spot though?
The landing spot?
Yeah. Where's he going? What makes him the best possible dynasty asset? Where could he go and everyone just goes, oh, shit.
You know what he's done? The last 4 years, he's grinded.
Yeah.
He's bitten kneecaps.
Is that why you put the grind in your mouth?
He's gotten the backup grinder spot. He's being the grinder. He's been biting kneecaps left and right down there behind the dog.
I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
He's going to the Detroit Lions, and he's taking the job from DeAndre Swift. He's going to fill in right where Jamal left, and he's going to elevate that offense. Roschon Johnson to the Detroit Lions.
Okay, so
sign me up.
You've definitely talked me in. I've been in Roschon. I'm all about Roschon. I think I've been in Roschon. Wow, what a horrible way to say a word. A sentence. Terrible. Pause. Restart. Rewind. Let's start again. Roschon Johnson's awesome. Great landing spot. I also like that if he went second round to the Falcons. Big dude, runs fast, runs hard, runs through the middle. We both know Arthur Smith establishes the shit out of it. So that'll be another landing spot. But with the 107 here, you've taken my guy, you've taken my heart. You've probably taken the heart and soul of this team. And now I'm reeling. Now I'm a little sad. But I'm gonna dust myself off, and I'm gonna take Zach Charbonnet here with this next pick. Okay, he's the number 5 player available on 1QB formats on playerprofile.com for good reason. He's a big dude. He can run. He runs hard. Runs right up. He's a grinder plus. Can catch the ball a little bit. He looks really athletic. And how he can run some of those routes. You think he sucks? Well, this is what the landing spot. I like him the most. If Zach Charbonnet goes to, I almost said Oakland, but the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ooh, he still sucks.
This is what I think about. This is what I'm thinking. Why you think he sucks so bad? In your mind, you've pit him versus Roshan, and you've just taken sides. But you can have it all, brother.
You know why?
You have it all, brother.
You know why you're wrong and you're right? Because they're similar body types, and they do the same fucking thing. But Roshan's better, so I put him ahead.
Roshan.
So he's a spot ahead, but. Cody, Roshan, look at this goddamn chat.
I saw it.
Roshan might be your 2021 Jamar Jefferson moment, but if you're right, I'll give you props for being higher than anybody in the industry. The problem is I'm higher than anybody in the industry for one reason. Multiple reasons. One of the biggest reasons, and I've talked about this on every goddamn show, is that there's conversations that are had at the Senior Bowl. Didn't have conversations about Jamar Jefferson at the Senior Bowl. But there's conversations that happened at the 2022 Senior Bowl about Roshan, who participated in the 2023 Senior Bowl. Not just me. Alex Dunlap is just as high as I am on Roshan.
I was going to say, was it the conversations you heard at the Senior Bowl or the conversations you had with Alex Dunlap?
It wasn't just the conversations with Alex Dunlap, though. This is the thing, is there was some higher level conversations in the haberdasher, in the bar. If you know what the haberdasher is, you know what I'm talking about. In Mobile. And trust me, Bruce, you don't want to miss on Roshan because I'm not the only one. Jamar didn't get draft capital. I promise to God Roshan will get to draft capital.
You're putting a lot on it. It's going to be very exciting come draft night.
I took my dip out. I'll relax on the Roshan. So Roshan joins the squad. I now have 3 players in the top 4 on the player profiler rookie rankings. I wonder who makes those. And now I'm back on the clock at the 108.
Actually, it took me a second. I'm sorry. I was like, wait. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And now I'm back on the clock at the 108, and I'm going to do something that might surprise a few people, but it's PPR, and I want the maximum, the upside with the target. And that means Zay Flowers.
Okay.
Zay Flowers. A lot of people say Antonio Brown.
You know that catches me every time. If I hear Antonio Brown, I'm in.
Elijah Moore.
Okay. I'm less.
Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is good.
Yeah.
He's got in a shitty situation with the Jets with the little Zachary Wilson action. Zay Flowers, first round pick, Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, so our train of thought here with the receiver in the first round, I went Hyatt, you went Flowers. Okay, so we're still all right here. We're kind of simpatico in different ways. I like that landing spot for him, for sure. I think he could do a lot of damage with a guy like Mahomes, and I think that the Chiefs do take a lot of chances over and over and over at receiver. So good pick there with the 109, and 9 happens to be my lucky number. So I got to make this one count, and I'm going to shock the world because I have been pretty much down on this guy throughout the process. But today is the day that I take a little Quentin Johnston action at the 109. Landing spot that I would think would be the best for him is the Bears, Chicago Bears. Let him be the number 1 guy. Let him be the guy that's probably going to get the most targets in an offense that needs to get better in the pass game, whether it be Fields or if they get crazy, they go with a rookie like Young or Stroud or whatever. But give me Quentin Johnston being the chance to establish himself as the wide receiver 1. Like you've always said, he's a big guy, got the tall frame, but he doesn't play that tall. So I didn't think he would go. I didn't want him competing for targets in a situation where he would go and probably be the leader in targets right off the bat. That's kind of the situation that I would get enticed by Quentin Johnston. So in this draft, where we're talking about maximum landing spot or the best team or the preferred team, spoke correctly. Shout out to you, Seth. I'm going Quentin Johnson of the Bears.
Binga banga. Binga banga.
Oh, baby.
Quentin
He's that
Johnson
receiver.
fits right in there. Oppo, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney. I think I like that little weaponry they got there building in Chicago. 110. I'm not going running back because all these running backs could very well go round 3, end of round 3 because of the depth here. I think that is nice depth. I'm not a big guy on A-Chain. A-Chain, I think, is going to run very fast next week. A lot of people are going to be happy about that. I love me some booty. Always have, always will. But president of the booty club, I'm going Josh Downs here because I think him and Zay Flowers are doppelgangers. I think they're the same person. Downs dealt with a little bit of injury. Downs is a year younger. I think Downs is going to be a savage in the NFL. And as Terry says in the chat, Downs will outperform Flowers. Not sure about that. It's going to be close. Both these guys are very good, very talented. Zay, I think, is a little bit better route runner, but Downs is a little more dynamic. Now, the question is, where does he go? I think he's a guy that ends up in the early part of round 2. I don't think he does jump into round 1. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he gets into the latter latter 5 picks of round 1 in the NFL draft, but I'm afraid it's going to be the early portion of round 2. So that kind of begs the question. You already brought up the Bears. They traded their pick to Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh's sitting there at 33. Now, is Deontay going to be there for the long term? Or do they bring in Josh Downs or Zay Flowers to play with Pickens and Pickett? I don't know. We'll see. Josh Downs, though, the place that I want to see Josh Downs go is Indianapolis. I think we talked about this the other day. They need a speedster inside of Pittman and Pierce, and I think I'm going to stick with that lane spot, and I'm going to send Josh Downs downtown Indianapolis.
Okay. I was hoping you'd pick Downs because I feel like I don't know if he's the unsung hero so far, but he's not really all that talked about. He seems to be going under the radar. So, like, I'm just not picking up enough hype. But when it does surface and I see a highlight or I start watching a little bit of his game film, I'm like, wow, this kid's pretty good. So, all right, great pick. Good landing spot. Makes sense. Here we go. Back to the 111. And now, once again, because we are optimizing landing spot, we're playing a little bit of unrealistic games here. I'm going to take Devon A-Chain. And it's because the landing spot here that I shall pick for him, the best team for him to go to, is the Dolphins.
Pick 52?
Yeah, I mean, they could. But again, I'm not talking about realistic picks here in the draft. I'm kind of thinking of it from if you could just pick their optimal landing spot. Dolphins, they had a lot of success. Mike McDaniels had a lot of success. Raheem Mostert is kind of that slender runner, bigger than A-Chain, but a little, A-Chain's going to run crazy fast. And given the fact that you don't see a lot of stacked boxes against the Dolphins because they have 2 guys who could take the top off of defense, just helps the type of running game that Mike McDaniel likes to deploy. So if he goes to the Dolphins, that's a team that I'm very excited about Devon A-Chain. So give me here at the 111. And I got a very, very diverse roster here. Got some good receivers, some running backs here, building a really good roster here in 1 QB.
I like it. I like A-Chain. I don't love A-Chain. I think he's going to run very, very fast next week. And I'm excited to see kind of what that number looks like.
Yep.
I'm trying to update this list here, but I don't love him in the NFL. I don't think he's very far off of what Jeff Wilson gives you when Jeff Wilson's healthy. That's the thing. I don't think it's like this massive difference, this massive change, but it is what it is. And I think it's respectable at the running back position. Would I spend a 2nd or 3rd round pick on him? No, but will somebody? I think so.
Okay.
Before we get to this last pick, we got to take a listen from one of our sponsors. That's for the audio people. For the video people, we'll keep going. This is pick number 12. Pick number 12, the first round, 1.12, pick 12. I really want to make this pick Kendre Miller, but I do not believe in the draft capital right this time. I think Kendre might be the guy that falls to the late 3rd, early 4th. We talk about Jermar Jefferson mistake would be a guy like Kendre Miller. The age is there, the yardage lined up, the touchdowns lined up. He did it at a bigger school. Kendre Miller would be the mistake if I book Kendre Miller at 106. Then the Jermar Jefferson conversation could be had, but he's not Roshan. Jamar's closer to Kendre Miller, so I'm not going to pick Kendre Miller here. But what I am going to do is I am going to take President Butte. I think President Butte belongs in round number 1.
Just keep him out of Atlanta.
He's ranked 12 in our rankings, and I think that he's going to stay 12 in our rookie drafts. And President Butte, I think he goes in round 2. I think he goes early round 2. Is that Carolina? Probably not, because he's kind of similar to DJ Moore. Is that New Orleans? Probably not, because I don't think they will use a 41st overall pick on a wide receiver. Is that Las Vegas? Don't think so. You know where it is?
Where is it?
New England.
Oh, my neck of the woods. Okay.
Jacoby Myers is gone. Kendrick Bourne is gone. They need a weapon.
They do need a wide receiver.
And we know how Nick Saban feels about the SEC. And I think if somebody's going to get Butte in line, I think it's going to be New England.
Okay, that's a good spot. That's a good spot. They got Bill O'Brien coming in, so he's obviously very connected with the SEC. Saban, Belichick, they kind of running around in the same coaching circles. Okay, I see your connection there. I do like that fit. I do think that would probably be one of his best landing spots, a chance to compete for a lot of targets right away. See, my Boston accent almost came out.
Targets.
Talk about New England. A lot of targets, guy. It's getting dark out here. Maybe I can hop in the car. We can go see a game at the Patriots, bro.
Start off round 2, my man.
Just so you know, whenever the time comes and we have some drinks together, the more I drink, the more that accent starts just creeping on out. So you can have a good laugh whenever we get together for some briskies. I'm going to start off round 2 with a bang. I'm going to take Kendre motherfucking Miller right here. And the landing spot that I think is the most optimal, I don't know if it will end up happening, but I do think it is the most optimal, is the Carolina Panthers. But I have to ask you, Cody, what do you project his 40 time? What do you think his speed looks like?
I'm not the most excited.
Okay.
4.58.
Okay. All right. So that's not terrible. So
It's
I was
middling.
thinking more
It's
lower
not
4.5s.
terrible.
Yeah. I was thinking lower 4.5s. And that's a size 6'2". I mean, he's 6 foot 215. Panthers, they don't really have a good running back, but I do like what Frank Reich can bring to the table. Obviously, he was working with a stud over in Indy and Jonathan Taylor. But, I mean, I think that Kendre Miller can at least be like that model. He's not going to obviously be someone like Taylor. He doesn't have that talent. But Chuba Hubbard ain't him. Foreman, he can stick around, but he ain't going to be the guy for much longer. He's going to be 27 next year, and he's had his litany of injuries. So give me Kendre Miller to the motherfucking Panthers.
It's a very interesting spot, and I think it's a respectable spot. I'd be very interested to see how that kind of pans out, because he fits directly into that. He fits in that Deontay role pretty well, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of where my mind went. I know Deontay, they could bring him back for short money, but a guy like Miller, he can come in and in short, touches, do a lot with him, and kind of just take that backfield slowly but surely in. It'll be his by the end of the season.
Respectable. Respect it. Now, with the 202, I think you're in this lull now of running back. And I'm going to move the screen down so you guys can see the next portion of the draft. Kendre Miller goes off the board, and I think soon after you're going to see a bunch of running backs go off the board, as I think they should. I think Zach Evans is going to be drafted a titch ahead of Kendre. And I think Zach Evans, they deserve to go back-to-back after the careers that they've had, where Zach and Kendre were playing together last year at TCU, and then Zach leaves, goes to Ole Miss. Zach was a stud. A lot of people forget this. Zach and Tank were in that conversation with Bijan to be the studs of this class. I think Zach Evans is going to excel in the NFL. Where will he do it at is the big question. I think he's going to be a third-round pick. Denver has 2 picks in the early third that they could pair somebody with Javonte if Javante's not recovering right. Does Zach Evans fit that offense the same? I don't think he fits that offense quite the same of what they need. A team that I do think is very interesting, because they've been drafting these kind of bruising backs the last few years, these heavier set donkeys in the Larry Roundtrees, the Joshua Kellys, and the Isaiah Spillers. They might say we need to change up the angle we're taking at running back, and they need to go after Zach Evans, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers. So I'm going to give the Chargers Zach Evans and say that this will be actually someone that can take a little bit of the load off of Austin Eckler. I
love it. I love that landing spot. Didn't even think about them going back to the running back in this year's draft. I like it. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to really bring anything else to the table. I love it. But I am going to bring out the 2.03. And now I'm starting to flirt with a certain player. I don't know if we're going steady yet. I don't know if we're there yet. Might keep winding down. It might keep pushing it back. But I am going to take a player, and I'm going to do it right in your face. Taking wide receiver from Michigan State, Jaden Reed.
I thought I could keep pushing it down. I thought I could keep just pushing it down the street and be like, it's going to fucking come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back.
I know you did. And that is why I've been enough is enough. Okay? Enough was enough. It was time for me to take a stand. And actually, I think his optimal landing spot is the New England Patriots.
Ooh.
Because one thing that I did really, really, not that I didn't take it, but I also think it's going to be a massive factor in his rookie season is how good he is in special teams. The Patriots love a guy who will do your job. Bring in Jaden Reed. Bring in a guy who can compete for a lot of targets. And this is the type of situation where, new offensive coordinator, promising young rookie, derailed in year 2, looking to get right in year 3. If you want him to hit that Antonio Brown level of outcomes, this is the type of landing spot he needs to go to. And if he does go there being a Patriots fan, oh, buddy, hey, your boy's going to get a lot of targets over there in Foxborough, and I want him.
Oh, man. Can't believe you
That's 2 times.
You got me. You got me right there. You also put him in the Patriots, which is where I thought Butte would go. I think either one of these. I think it's cool that we're in lockstep on this Patriot landing spot, though, because I do think one of these guys is going to land there. So I think it's going to be an interesting conversation when they do and who it is. I think Butte and Reed are both very good candidates for that conversation to be in round 2. Now we're talking about pick number 16. And our currently ranked best player on the board would be Tank Bigsby, if you're following along with the player profiler rookie rankings, which you can find in the Dynasty Deluxe, a part of the all-in package at playerprofiler.com. You can use promo code Matty, or you can use promo code Cody on there. We will also have show promo codes coming next week. So you'll be able to split that and not be able to say, hey, use my promo code, not Matty's. We'll be able to use both. Though, the Dynasty rankings have the rookie rankings inside. Tank Bigsby is the number 10 player right now. For the similar reason I said Zach Evans just a second ago, I'm doing Tank Bigsby right here because he is another guy. Again, I talk about this batch of guys that's going to be going late 3rd, early 4th. Tank Bigsby, Zach Evans, Kendre, Eric Gray, Tyjae Spears. That's the 5 guys in that little bulk set, late 3rd, early 4th. And I think we need to be very open to Tank being maybe that guy, the first guy out of this bunch that goes off the board. And Tank Bigsby going late 3rd, there's a couple spots there. Everyone wants to look at Dallas for Bijan. Everyone always looks at Buffalo for a running back. Buffalo always spends that 3rd round pick on a running back. What if Tank Bigsby is the one that goes to the Dallas Cowboys and fills in for Zeke Elliott? Because Zeke Elliott, I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to maybe not you, but I hate to break it to everybody else. The answer to the test about Zeke Elliott's gone. We talked about this at the Senior Bowl with those other conversations that we had about Roshan, is Zeke is 100% gone. And now there's people coming out there breaking news that, oh, Zeke Elliott, if he comes back, he's going to have to play for the minimum. He's not going to come back. All right. If he goes anywhere, it's going to be like Tampa Bay, because the running back coach just went to Tampa Bay. He's going to be cut. He's going to be on the street. This class has depth at running back. This free agent class has depth. Kareem Hunt, Miles Sanders, they're going to get signed before him. You're going to see Zeke in a very weird situation. Not a lot of tread left on the tires, kind of a donkey. Zeke's not going to be back. Tank Bigsby fits right in there next to Pollard, and you got a dynamic 1-2 punch because Tank is not quite a tank, but he's a pretty good running back.
What do you think happened to him after his freshman season?
I mean, look at the stats. The stats are still there. All 4 years, the stats have been there. It's the competency of Auburn. That's really what it is.
Okay. So the team just kind of crumbled around him and left him hanging. Okay. Fair enough. Tank Bigsby to the Cowboys. That would certainly draw up a whole bunch of hype in fantasy leagues across the country for sure.
Question. I might have an answer. On your board, would he go ahead of guys like Evans and Miller at running back if he went to the Cowboys in the 3rd and Zeke was gone and it's him and Pollard? Would he, for you, say Zach Evans goes and plays with Eckler, say Kendre, he's in Carolina, but Carolina is also
they're just still flirting with Hubbard too much, too much. Okay.
Is Paul? I mean, I know Pollard's there, but is that enough to put Tank above these guys?
I think my approach would be if I'm looking to win, if I have a competitor, I'm gonna kick him up the notch. I'm gonna kick him up
Yeah.
above those two guys because I want the immediate playing stamp. Because if Tony Pollard takes some time, he doesn't come back, 100% right away. Maybe Bigsby gets a little bit more of that pie than we would anticipate, and then you could really cash in and then maybe sell at that point. So I
Yeah.
would elevate him above the two. But if I'm just strictly going for best player, I do like the situations of Chargers and Panthers enough to keep them ahead of Bigsby.
Beauty, beauty, beauty. 205. Matty Kiwoom's on the clock.
All right. I'm gonna leave this guy. I'm sick of leaving this guy on the board. I'm gonna take him right now, running back from Tulane, New Orleans, Tajay Spears, and his optimal landing spot, in my opinion, is the Houston Texans. And here's why: Dameon Pierce was not good in the pass game, so bad that they said Rex Burkhead.
I like Berkman.
Right, gentlemen, Rex, do you want to play football? Hey, come on in, play. We need you on third down. And I think that Spears gives enough in the passing game. We saw what he did in Mobile. His ability to get open. For a rookie quarterback or Davis Mills, if they want to drag their feet, probably not going to happen, but let's just say all hypotheticals. Either way, that means targets for Spears with a clear path to getting the lion's share of the opportunities and becoming a true force in fantasy. In PPR, especially.
I think he's gonna be a guy. I hate that though, because it's probably gonna be that late third, early fourth round draft capital, which is the same they had on Pierce, and it's gonna be such a question mark as far as the year goes and what to do with him.
I bet a lot would have to do with how people view Pierce. I've been down on him. I like the player, but I always thought that he was a sell when he was balling out at the beginning of last year, because I don't think he's special. He's not a wow factor in any aspect. So I think that will allow the Texans to still take shots at running back. And if you get a guy who just is better, they're going to take a lot of those opportunities. So I guess it really just comes down to what you feel about Pierce. I'm not huge on Pierce long term.
I mean, I like Pierce is the thing, but I don't think he belongs in the 3-down skill set back tier of things. So this is going to muddy the backfield a little bit more, but I think it would actually improve the longevity of Pierce and not really his upside, but his floor, because it would bring a juice factor, which I think a lot of backfields need that second guy, and that's why they had Burkhead there. That's why they brought other guys in. So it's pukey on the surface, but I think it would benefit both guys long term.
Well, that would be okay in fantasy. I'd be okay with that, especially at the 205.
How about this guy right here?
I don't know. Who is he?
Rashee
Rice.
Rashee Rice, I think, is going to be a guy that gets drafted a little bit higher than we're currently expecting. He had a mediocre week at the Senior Bowl, came in with high expectations, left a little disappointed in Rashee, other than he came in at a good weight. I think he was very similar to a Garrett Wilson coming in. I thought he was going to be 187. He came in like 202, I think it was. Slow, sluggish start, ended strong. He's going to be solid in the red zone. He's going to be solid in the intermediates. He's not going to be a superstar like a Jefferson or a Wilson, but I think he's going to be a very competent number 2 in the NFL. And what team needs a very competent number 2 for the future? Seattle Seahawks pick number 53.
That landing spot is catching a lot of steam in terms of the heir apparent to Tyler Lockett's role, which it's very intriguing for Dynasty, especially if you're in the spot where you aren't really you have the luxury of time.
I think it's a very Rice is the toughest one for me in this class, I think, as far as projecting where he's going to end up being. Everything. Fantasy, NFL, what you name it. I love him, but I also hate him.
Got that love-hate thing going with him.
That little love-hate thing.
Hey, okay.
Same with Tank. Him and Tank both. I'm just like, that's why they're sitting there 19-20. They could be higher, they could be way lower. It's just like
right. It's interesting. And we've grown so much in these 3 mocks where, we've both decided to take guys that we weren't really excited about just a couple weeks ago, and we're coming around on them. So look at us growing. I like that. That's huge for us. And at the 207, I'm going to go with the big boy. I'm going with Michael Mayer, tight end.
Ooh, tight end.
From the Notre Dame. You got in my ear and threw me off completely. From Notre Dame. Okay, it's time to take a tight end here at the 207. That's really good. That's a great spot, in my opinion. And the landing spot, it's what the best landing spots for all the tight ends in this class, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals. Let that rookie come in. Hayden Hurst was pretty good. He's pretty decent fantasy. He was big when you need him. And a tight end, that's a complete dumpster fire. Give me, in my opinion, Michael Mayer is the number 1 tight end in the class. But this is a damn good class. So if the Bengals end up going with Musgrave or Dalton Kincaid, those are the guys that I'll take. Because I love the landing spot. But given our rankings, given the player profile rankings, your rankings, give me Mayer and give him to the Bengals.
All right. So I talked about this selling T. Higgins thing, and this is exactly why. Because I think you're going to be looking at a tight end, and a tight end with draft capital going to Cincinnati, which is only going to add to targets, not going to T. Higgins. And, of course, Chase is still that alpha. And Chase, isn't going to be mediocre. He's got this weird thing where, he's the dynasty number 2 right now, but people aren't respecting him on the level that they should be. And I think one of these, this year, next year, it's going to be the top's coming off. And I think you're going to see a competition for 2K between Chase and Jefferson. And I think people are Jefferson's the GOAT. He's in the GOAT conversation. Yeah,
Jefferson's damn good.
He's damn fucking good. But
and he's on your team.
I think people are forgetting that Chase is also pretty fucking good.
Yeah, he's very good.
So I'm selling Higgins.
You're gonna get a hot take out of me, Cody. He's very good.
And I think they're gonna bring in a weapon like this, and there's multiple things working against him. So, anyways, I like it.
Now you've killed enough time. Who are you taking with a 208?
It's time.
No, don't do it.
It's time.
Did I?
First quarterback comes off the board.
That's the show. Ladies and gentlemen.
The quarterback comes off the board.
I guess I'm Matty. Whatever. My whole night was ruined. Thanks, Cody. I mean, that's it.
I got my quarterback. I got a quarterback for my fantasy team. I don't know what you got, but I got a quarterback. And he might not start year 1, but I tell you what he's going to do year 1. He's going to at least play running back. He's going to have probably 1,400 yards on the ground. I'm just kidding. No, I think Anthony Richardson should be QB1 in fantasy as the rookie because exactly what I just said. We talked about Justin Fields. I was on the Writers Roundtable just before this. Go check that out on the YouTube channel, playerprofiler.com. Richardson's going to get an opportunity if he is a top 10 pick to play year 1 because the team's going to need him to play. And I think Ahan made a good point on that show where his draft projection as far as the sports books went from plus 5,000 to plus 600 for the number 1 overall pick. So I think you're in conversations with Richardson as being a top 10 guy. Atlanta's in the conversations with Lamar Jackson. They drafted Desmond Ridder. If they don't love Ridder, they brought Mariota. That's the landing spot you can look at right there. Vegas needs a quarterback. Carolina needs a quarterback. Detroit needs a quarterback. Seattle needs a quarterback. Indianapolis. Do I need to keep going here? If he goes to any of these spots, he's going to be pretty fantastic as far as the rushing upside goes. But I think the best landing spot in the top 10, for fantasy.
Dude, if you say what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, come on. Number 9 to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's replacement.
Yep.
Cam Newton's long loss replacement. I talked about the Franken comp. It's Colin Kaepernick's arm, which only further goes into the DJ Moore effect, which is he's never going to have a quarterback that has a competent arm to get the ball. It's going to feed right into the frenzy. Send him to Carolina, where they already won with a player like this. It's Cam Newton's body with Lamar Jackson's legs and Colin, whatever the hell his name is, Kaepernick's arm.
You pulled a me 10 minutes ago when I messed up the name.
I want to call him Colin Kaepernick from now on. That's him. That's what Richardson is. And I think if he goes to Carolina right there at 9, they're going to throw him into the fire year 1 because he can run the ball And his offensive line is just competent enough. There's enough talent around him. I think you're going to see him break the rushing record, and that's going to be amazing in fantasy. 208 in one QB. Come on down.
Great pick. Probably the only quarterback that I was looking to take in this entire 2 rounds because I think he has the highest ceiling. But you were wrong about the best landing spot. The best landing spot is the Seattle Seahawks because Pete Carroll apparently can get the most out of a damn quarterback, and he wouldn't possibly have the luxury of sitting behind 1 year of a franchise tag Geno Smith. And if you got DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, and the receiver that they take this year, now all of a sudden you're like freaking Gannon. Shots.
That was the greatest thing.
That was hilarious. Imagine walking up to somebody, don't even know him, shakes your hand, taps you in the chest, and just doesn't even say anything. Just goes, pew, 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 pew. Explosive.
They better hope that is their Nick Sirianni moment, where like that interview that Sirianni had when he first press conference. They better hope that's that, because that was like, if I was Rondell, I would have been like,
it's like,
nice to meet you, sir.
Is it this guy? Is not, I mean, is this the Impractical Jokers guy? This isn't our coach.
Murr?
Is this Murr?
Is this Murr? Is this Murr? Murr, it's the fucking. Where's the cameras at? Is this a joke? Oh, the camera's right there. Is this Murr?
Where's Ashton? Ashton Kutcher?
That's your football coach, bro.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back on track here. 209. Where am I going with this? I'm getting electric, okay? It's getting late, so I'm getting a little delusional. So I'm gonna go crazy here. I'm gonna go for a big shot. I'm gonna go Dizzy Deuce Vaughn.
Oh.
And his landing spot, the best landing spot for him, is the Denver Broncos. Why? Sean Payton. What did Sean Payton do in the past? He got a whole lot out of Darren Sproles. And what could he do with Deuce Vaughn playing the pass-catching role as Javonte gets to 100%? And then, let's face it, given a good opportunity, given what Sean Payton could do with a guy like this, I think he's going to stick around. So getting him at the end of the second round is wheels up for Matty Kiwoom.
Deuce. Dilly Deuce. Put him on the board. Deuce Vaughn fits. It ships. I don't like it, but
he's going to fit in a lot of boxes.
Small. It fits. It ships.
Pew, 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 small.
USPS, next day delivery, Amazon Prime. Deuce Vaughn is your guy. Now this next pick, I'm going not for speed. I don't need speed. I need PPR points. And where you're going to catch PPR points is from a 207-pound sub-satellite back that thinks he is a 3-down grinder, but he's really just Devontae Freeman 2.0. Eric Gray out of Oklahoma, once known as a Devy guy, 23 years old. Eric Gray is going to be competent. And a late second-round pick is A-okay with me for Eric Gray in fantasy. Put him in there at the 210. I have him ranked 16th overall. We're getting him here at the 22 overall pick. Eric Gray, running back, Oklahoma, fantabulous season this year. I think he's going to be that early 4th round pick. It's usually where these projected players go, where there's not really, at one time he was thought to go here, but we'll see. He's just going to end up in the 4th round of the NFL draft. And when you're looking at landing spots, I think the Minnesota one's interesting. They should have never re-signed Delvin Cook. I've talked about this. And I think Madison's gone as well. 120 to the Minnesota Vikings, Eric Gray.
Okay, smart move. What I'm going to go with here, I'm going to end the draft. I was thinking about going quarterback, but in this fictional fantasy, since we're doing optimal landing spots, I'm going to say that I have the optimal quarterback. I got Patty Mahomes, so I ain't looking quarterback. So I'm going Tank Dell with 211, and I'm going to say that he goes to the Atlanta Falcons. That is going to be his best landing spot, where he can play on the inside. He can be dynamic. He can be used in a number of different roles with Drizzy Drake on the outside, with Kyle Pitts doing what he do in the middle of the field. But you know who's going to be catching passes from, Cody? Lamar Jackson. And that's the type of playmaker that he would work so well. Led the nation in receiving yards. Can be a little mini version of Hollywood Brown with Drizzy Drake and Kyle Pitts and Lamar Jackson.
You really trying to be like Boomer or what?
No, I don't got the Boomer voice. Do I have the Boomer voice?
That's the energy.
Whoop.
I thought you're.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. The Raiders.
All right.
All right.
Let's see what I'm saying.
Lamar
Jackson.
Okay.
The Raiders. That's what I was saying, man.
Okay. Little late bulb moment. Okay.
Went off in your head. You caught on to it. Last pick in the draft. A lot of guys on the board here. Well, the board's actually getting cleaned up if you're watching on YouTube by yours truly as I'm trying to sort and see what's my best available action plan. Do I want to get a tight end? Do I need to get a tight
Evan
end?
Holmes, let's wrap this thing up.
Little do you know, I left Kendre Miller on the board.
I know you did that last week, and you freaking bamboozled me. Hit me with the long game.
Bamboo. I watched that back today, and you were like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No. 2.12. Who's the one guy on this board that I think has the opportunity to climb the NFL board next week at the NFL Combine and become a second or third round pick? That's really what we're looking for right here. Probably not second, but probably a third round pick in the NFL draft. Who's going to climb that ladder? Xavier Hutchinson doesn't have the speed to do that. He's going to be a guy that's going to end up being a middle third round pick, like a Khalil Shakir this year. Love him in PPR. Don't want to spend that capital on him right now. You took Deuce Vaughn. I think he belongs in this conversation as well. But Luke Musgrave is going to run fast. I'm going to get my tight end right here at 212. Normally, I don't like taking tight ends up into the second round, but I think 212 is a fine spot to get an athlete like Luke Musgrave, who I think projects to be a first round pick right now. Depending again, the athleticism next week should be in the high 4.6s, low 4.7s for Luke Musgrave, and I think he does end up being a late first, if not early second round pick for this experiment, for this purpose, for this particular draft, this particular one. We sent Mayer to the Bengals.
Yep.
So that still leaves the door open for Jacksonville to get a tight end. The Chargers could use a tight end. I don't think the Chargers used that 22nd overall pick on a tight end because they understand positional importance in the draft. Dallas will not spend a first-round pick on a tight end. They have tight ends. They love tight ends. But I think a team that needs – I don't know. This is kind of a theory, right? So we always see – oh, this guy deleted all of his posts on Instagram. He's gone. How about the pro shop is selling this guy's jerseys for 50% off? Darren Waller is gone in Las Vegas. Aaron Rodgers enters. Devontae Adams is there. They bring in a tailback, and they bring in Luke Musgrave to play tight end for where his uncle.
Not everybody can do the boomer.
Aaron Rodgers is there. Devontae Adams stays. Darren Waller's gone. And they bring in Luke Musgrave to play tight end, where his Uncle Bill was offensive coordinator. Luke Musgrave, round 2, Las Vegas Raiders, 212. Sign me up.
Love it. It went from boomer to Hulk Hogan by the end. It started at boomer, and if you would have said brother at the end of it, you'd be like, "Oh, that was a good Hulk. That was a pretty good Hulk Hogan."
What do you think of the what do you think of the draft, man?
Of the whole thing, I think. All right, so now what we're trying to see here, what we're trying to take away from these drafts, is kind of the variance of where you could see guys climb the board if they get to a particular landing spot. And the guy that sticks out to me in this particular experiment was Jalen Hyatt. I think he's one of those guys that if he were to get the first-round draft capital, go to a spot like the Chargers, the Chiefs, or the Bills, I think you could see him climb rookie drafts, especially in 1 QB. So that's what I think that was the purpose of this exercise, is really to see where guys may take massive jumps up in the first and second rounds based on a really, really good landing spot.
Do you know what my big takeaway was in this draft?
That I'm freaking nasty at drafting players.
That your team sucks.
No, it's just all the guys you hate.
I think your team you didn't even draft a quarterback.
I told you I have Mahomes.
We're drafting
Mahomes.
We're playing fantasy football.
I have Jackson Mahomes.
And our teams are as follows. And my boy did not draft a quarterback, as you can see. So he has too many running backs that suck and don't catch passes.
This dude is about to put me out to dry here. I'm going
he
back
took
to the
all undersized wide receivers. Hyatt, one-trick pony. Reed, undersized injuries. Dell, just a speedster. Addison, undersized. Quentin Johnston, fake alpha. This team is garbage. You took the second best tight end, took no quarterbacks.
This right here is an example of cyberbullying because you're just gaslighting our listeners here. I got the big dog, Bijan. My running backs would kick your running back's ass. They would just all tag up on Roshan, get him out the way, and then it's easy money. And then you got Keyshawn Butte. It's like he's about to get suspended or whatever. I mean, whatever. Your team's pretty good. Okay, fine. It's better than mine. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. It's like you freaking do this for a living. Okay. Cody he's going to the combine. Okay. But you know what? I won 2.0. You might have taken 3.0, but I took 2.0 down.
Well, I'll give you 2.0, but I do get a bonus point for getting Kendre.
Well, you bamboozled me. We've talked about this.
Hey, man.
You can't do that to me.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Matty had a fantastic drive. I'm just giving him shit. If you're listening along, the teams are as follows: Kendre Miller, Bijan Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Devin Shingle, A-Chain, Deuce Vaughn, Tyja Spears, Jalen Hyatt, Jaden Reed, Tank Dell, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, Michael Mayer. My team is Anthony Richardson, Jamar Gibbs, Roshan Johnson, Zach Evans, Tank Bigsby, Eric Gray, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Josh Downs, Zay Flowers, Rashi Rice, Keyshawn Butte, and Luke Oakland Raider Musgrave. You can find Matty Kiwoom on Twitter at Matty Kiwoom, MattyKiwoom. You can find me on Twitter at Carpentier NFL. We'll be back next week with another midweek mock. Matty, this weekend will be on the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Futurecast will be back on Friday at about 2 o'clock to recap some players that we look forward to at the NFL Combine next week.
Can't believe it's
Matty, you got one take for us to send us out? Brother.
My one take is that the Players Lounge is about to be the biggest podcast in history. That's my take, baby.